Today we're gonna clean up this bungalow. This is PowerWash Simulator. I've not really mentioned it that much on the channel, but this game is extremely addictive, but also like extremely fun. I mean, as far as like addictive games go, I think this is by far one of the most innocent ones compared to like a cookie clicker or I don't know, a gacha game. I can let this game go a bit. Um, the way it basically works is you just power wash stuff to make it clean, but it's all split into like subtasks, right? So this is the wall. This is like it's gonna take ages to clean this wall, right? But you can also just clean this window, and you get a little ding. It goes like ding when you do the window frame. And you don't need to, this is essential, you don't need to get every speck of duck. You don't you don't need to get every speck of dust when you're cleaning like an individual piece. As long as you get like 95 roughly, I don't know the exact number, but as long as you get like most of it, it'll become fully clean all around. So even if I miss some of the dirt here or there, I can still get the task completed, which stops it from getting too frustrating, because if you had to get every speck of dust when you were doing this, I think the game would be a little bit more frustrating, but luckily it is not so. So yeah, honestly, during like downtime when I'm not like playing anything in particular, I've just been playing PowerWash Simulator here and there, like watching some YouTube videos in the background. It's a good vibe. The only thing is, like, sometimes the game can feel a bit like dizzying or a bit frustrating, because like if I'm moving up and down like this, you can easily see how it would get a bit dizzying. There is a solution to that. There's an aim mode where you can kind of aim separately from the camera, and I really like using it. But on some of the finer things, it's not as useful because you kind of need to see what you're doing. But I do like putting it into this mode and just kind of scrubbing up and down. It can be quite fun. Another problem I've had with this game is there's this button, you press tab and it shows you like where the dirt is. Well, if there's a lot of dirt, like you've not really cleaned up that much, ouch! That hurts my eyes, especially when I'm playing it like later in the day, the sun's gone down, I don't have my light on, and then it just kind of flashbangs, and that can be a bit difficult. But I mean, my bad for playing games in the dark. I should get the light on. The only thing with that is my eyes do sometimes hurt if I'm staring at a monitor with no light on, but I don't really need the light for anything because I'm looking at the monitor which produces light, so it kind of feels like wasteful, but it does prevent my eyes from getting sore, and I feel like sore eyes is worse than being a little bit wasteful, personally, but I don't know. But yeah, this really is the whole game. Like, there's not much to it. You can get like upgrades for your power wash and stuff, but they're not super significant. Like, it's not exactly an upgrade focused game. It's just kind of power wash simulator is what it says on the tin. A lot of these simulator games have come out, like Euro Truck Simulator and stuff like that, where I kind of wish I had a flashlight. That's another thing, is like there are bits that are in shadow and like you can see the dirt by like pressing tab, but it would be a lot more immersive if I could like use a flashlight to see in there, because like in real life, if I was power washing, I would have a flashlight. There's gonna be bits that are dark, I would have a flashlight. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit cynical, a bit critical of this wonderful game that we play. I want to clean this door. I don't know how a house gets in this state. I mean, look, it's a lovely neighborhood. You can walk around. It's a lovely neighborhood. Okay, you can't walk around too much, But how does a house get into this state without someone notifying, you know, before it even gets to this point? Because if it was half as dirty, I'd still be like, oh, this is, has somebody died or something? I don't know. Like, where is all this dirt coming from? Was there like a tornado or something? And there we go, we've cleaned the driveway. It's a very good start to, you know, getting the whole place cleaned up. The gutter is going to take a while. I feel like I'm going to have to use a ladder to do this roof, because, yep, it's pretty dirty up here. Let's clean the chimney out. And having a dirty chimney isn't the end of the world, but this is definitely beyond the point where intervention is kind of needed. There's different nozzles, so you can have like really wide ones, like a 40-degree nozzle that covers more ground. But as you can see, it doesn't pick up the dirt as well as the higher pressure nozzles. So I tend to stay on the green and the yellow ones. Because those are like a good mix between surface area and you know, water pressure. And you know, I kind of think like, oh, I mean, power washing is fun. Like this is a fun game. I don't know if it would be this fun in real life though, because in real life it's like an actual job. That you kind of have to do to keep things tight. Well, not have to. There are other ways to keep things tidy, but it's a very useful tool for the job that it does, which is cleaning grime off of surfaces. It's a very useful tool. But it seems like, from what I've seen on the internet, people who power wash in real life have just as much fun as people who are playing PowerWash Simulator. Which kind of makes you think, right? We're kind of chumps. You know, I'm playing the video game version when I could be power washing in real life, which is actually like achieving something. It's making clean stuff that is dirty. So I could actually be power washing and getting a chore done. But instead I'm playing a video game that dings whenever I complete a task. But I will say it is quite good because I can put this down whenever I want. If I get sick of power washing and I want to go take a break, I can put this game down whenever I want. But in real life, you know, the dirt will not wait for you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's a very low stakes kind of game, which I like. People do like speedrun it and stuff. I couldn't. It would be so stressful trying to clean up this dirt, but like within a time frame. Because at the end of the day, like that's kind of what speedrunning is. It's not so much about you know, going as fast as possible. It's about doing it within a time limit, and that time limit is your previous personal best. That is one way to look at it. I don't know if that's the most like healthy mentality. It's not generally how I've looked at it. But with a game like PowerWash Simulator, where it's, you know, very minute kind of work, I feel like that would be going through my head the whole time. So I don't know if I would ever like try to speedrun this game. But it is good as just like a kind of relaxing thing. The only trouble is eventually I'll beat all the maps and stuff, and I don't know what I'll do with myself then, but until then, it's just been a fun little game, and it's on Xbox Game Pass, so I haven't paid a single dollar for it. So yeah, that is the advantage I've found of these like game subscription services. It's like, yeah, I want to own the games, but like owning games is nice, and like actually physically owning games is nice. But I was never going to buy this game anyway. You know, it's been an opportunity to try out games that I never would have bought. Like, this is a £20 game or something. I'm not spending £20 on PowerWash Simulator. I still wouldn't. Even though I've played it and I like it, I still don't think it's worth that much. You know, it's a fun little game, and I will get like a few hours out of it. But £20, that's like a premium kind of game right there. That's like discounted AAA game, or like the most expensive indie game. That's like Hollow Knight. We're talking about Hollow Knight here. You can get Hollow Knight for way cheaper than that. And that's like the greatest indie game of all time. So is it? I mean, it's definitely close. That game is fantastic. I really like Hollow Knight. I can't wait for Silk Song. You've heard it before, but it doesn't stop being true. It doesn't stop being true, even though it kind of feels like a meme at this point, the whole Silk Song thing. I still believe that the game will come out. I don't know when. I hope it comes out this year, because then I'll get to play it on Gold, but I don't think it will. I mean, there's just been no reason to believe that the game is close, you know? But yeah, it is what it is. I've not really been excited for a game release in a while. I mean, I'm looking forward to Rivals 2, The Big Catch. I'm looking forward to Silk Song and stuff. And when World of Goo 2 came out, I was very excited, but you know, these are all games that like I've kind of known about for ages. Like, they were announced long ahead of when they came out. It's been a while since there's been a game that's like, it's coming out in 2 months, and then it comes out in 2 months. It's always, we're gonna release 6 months from now, and then it's still not out, right? Like, that is becoming an increasingly common situation where indie game devs are just like, oh yeah, our game's gonna be done soon, and then they just keep adding stuff. Which, to be honest, I don't mind so much, because I can wait. That's the thing, is like, it always feels bad in the moment when they announce that it's delayed. It's like, oh, but I really want to play this game, but then life kind of moves on, right? And you know, you don't spend all of that time in between the delay and the release. You don't spend all of that time waiting for it. There are days where you think like, oh, I can't wait for that to come out, but at least in my experience, I've gotten pretty good at, you know, waiting for stuff without actively waiting. I'm just, you know, passively waiting. When it comes out, it comes out, and I'll be excited for it. There are a lot of games that I followed the release of quite actively, quite closely, namely Nintendo titles often, stuff like Zelda, stuff like Smash Bros. And if they announce a new Smash game, I'll do the exact same thing again. I'll start following it super closely and get excited for all the announcements and stuff, because I know that's how I'll be with any sort of new Smash thing. But I haven't been that way with a game since Sora came out. Since Sora came out and you know, and the Smash announcements were over, I've been very relaxed about game announcements. I'm not following the release of any titles. I just play them when they come out, and it's kind of good. Like, it keeps me not like thinking about them all the time when they're not even here yet, and then I can just enjoy them when they are here. So honestly, that's been pretty good. I feel like being into and like following game releases can be fun, but it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot, like, if you're into game releases, you know, less of the fun is focused on the game and more of it is focused on what the game might be. I don't want to build it up in my mind as to what it might be. I just want to play it for what it is. And when Silk Song comes out, I don't want to build Silk Song up in my mind as like, you know, it's gonna be the best indie game ever, it's gonna be better than Hollow Knight. All of that stuff might be true, but I don't want to come to that conclusion before it's here and then be disappointed. Because it might be a fantastic game that doesn't live up to the hype people have built up in their mind. That would be the worst situation, where it's a good game but it's a disappointing game. And I don't want that. And if I have lower expectations, then or just no expectations, if I haven't really thought about what I want from Silk Song, then hopefully I'll be able to enjoy it more. And honestly, I haven't thought too much about what I'm looking for from that game. I just know that I really liked Hollow Knight, and I trust that, is it Team Cherry? I trust that they're going to make a good game. I trust that I'm gonna enjoy it when it comes out, but I don't want to build it up to be something super grand and like exciting when, you know, we don't know that much about it. We have seen a little bit of gameplay though, and it looks fun. I mean, that's something I'm always looking for with platformers, is like, how does it control, how does it move? Because that's what platforming is about. And Silksong looks like a game that has even more like movement stuff in it than Hollow Knight did. And Hollow Knight was a game that controlled well. It was just very simple controls. You could jump, double jump, and you could dash, and that was kind of it. There were, you know, pogos and stuff, but for the most part, your options at any given time were jump and eventually double jump, and then you got the dash. Like, not in that order. Obviously, double jump comes after the dash by quite a bit. I mean, I didn't even discover the double jump until basically until I beat the game. I think I did get the double jump before I beat the game, but it was like the last thing I did. I could not find it for ages, and yeah, it was a whole thing. I never looked up stuff for Hollow Knight because I feel like with a Metroidvania, a lot of the fun is exploring, and I got really sucked into the world eventually with Hollow Knight. I mean, I started that game a few times and never really got into it, but I'm glad I kept trying. I'm glad I kept starting again, because eventually what I got was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever gotten from a video game. It's just a lot of fun. I don't want to say anything like profound or grand about it. It's just a really fun game. It is. It's interesting to me that this whole roof is considered one object in the game. A lot of the time... Okay, see, yeah, this porch roof is considered... A lot of the time they break the big bits up into like their smaller components. You know, because the task of doing this whole roof is quite significant. And you don't get any reward until the end, which is once you've cleaned the entire roof. So like breaking it into pieces, to me that makes a lot of sense, but I guess they haven't really gone that route with this one, which is fine. I mean, from a level design standpoint, it is like slightly unusual from at least the levels I've seen to have one object that's this big, but from like a gameplay standpoint, it doesn't really affect what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna like hose it all down until it is clean. So it doesn't really make a big difference. It's just like kind of notable, as like the levels I've played so far haven't been designed in that way. But it's all good. Surely this gutter must be clean by now. I guess I haven't cleaned the bottom. Yeah, I haven't cleaned the underside. And of course the pipe. Itsy bitsy spider. Climbed up the water. Is it water spout? I feel like this is not called a water spout. I've always pictured itsy bitsy spiders climbing up like the side of a house, like a gutter, like a drain. And that makes sense because it's down came the rain and flushed poor Itsy out. But then you think about it, who calls that a water spout? Right? Like, I don't call that a water spout. If I had to think of spout, I think of like a teacup. Is he climbing through a teacup? That would be creepy. But if the teacup was open, like it had its lid open, then the rain could still flush him out, right? I feel like at least, you know, I would think that the rain would not affect a teacup too much. But I think if you were having like a picnic, and maybe it's the same spider from Little Miss Muffet. Little Miss Muffet sat on a spider. I think that's how it goes. There was someone who ate a spider or sat on a spider in a fairy tale, I swear. Not fairy tale, nursery rhyme. Potato potato. I'm afraid. I swear there was something about Little Miss Muffet had a spider. I don't know anything about Miss Muffet. But wasn't Muffet the spider from Undertale? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I feel like spiders are in that story somewhere. That's all I can say on the matter. If spiders are involved or if they're not involved, I'm just glad we're having a good time. I like spiders. I don't want them to bother me. Like, I don't want to be near spiders. They just kind of creep me out. I don't like the idea of spiders climbing on me because I've had that happen before and it's just like a very unpleasant sensation. But I can otherwise deal with spiders. I'm not like, I don't super want to kill them or anything. And I've heard that like putting them outside because they like die if they go outside. That's what I've heard. It's like if you have a spider in your house and you put it outside, you're not really helping the guy because he's gonna die sooner than if you just left him alone. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, then like I've been listening to that. I've been listening to that and thinking like, damn, I don't want to kill this guy by putting him outside, so I'll just leave him alone. But you know, if they fuck with me and they like climb on me and get all tickly and stuff, then you know, it doesn't bode well for their future. I can't lie. I'm not a saint when it comes to spiders. But I think I'm better than the average, you know, a lot of people do just like kill bugs and stuff. I try to let them live. I don't want to, you know, cause problems for them because I think, you know, not that they really are super like sapient or anything, but you know, they're not trying to cause problems. They don't know what they're doing. You know, like it's a societal rule that we don't like fuck with each other. We don't like climb on top of each other. Like they don't know about society. They don't know the rules of society. So I can't really blame them for wanting to break it. And like, you know, if they're climbing on me, they're probably trying to be my friend. That's probably like affectionate to spiders. But then I don't know, because some spiders like eat their kids and stuff, or like they eat their parents, and it's like, okay, well, you know, societally that's not very acceptable. Ethically, I can't really condone eating your children. To me, that raises some alarms. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I don't want to cause any controversy, but eating your kids kind of causes alarm for me. And I know that there'll be a differing perspective, maybe a spider perspective where, you know, maybe that's just their culture, but I don't know. Do spiders have culture? That's a whole thing. Like, culture is the stuff that stems from us being like social, right? Because, you know, stuff that is like innate, I guess, is not culture, is it? Because like monkeys, I think I talked about this before, like a monkey got, like an orangutan or something got injured and it used like leaves to like dress its wound or something, and like the question is like, was that passed down to that orangutan by other monkeys that learned it before him, or is it like something that they innately know, just like as part of evolution? Well, if it's an evolutionary thing, we would say that's not culture, I guess. I think culture is the stuff that we created as society, which is why different places have different culture, because we all created it, right? But I don't know. I don't know if monkeys and spiders and stuff, I don't know if they're capable of like having a culture. Like, is that like, because I think people always say like, oh, humans are social beings. People always say that, but does that mean that other animals aren't social? Because like dogs and stuff, they have like a social hierarchy, and they have like social tells. Like if a dog pees somewhere, that like marks their territory or whatever. Other dogs know, oh, I'm not going to go there. I mean, that must be a societal thing, right? That must, I mean, I don't know if it's a learned behavior or if it's innate, but like that's got to be an example of you can tell I'm not hugely into anthropology by the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Um, but am I wrong? I guess is what I'm looking for is like, is what I'm saying more or less reasonable? Dogs have like social like rules and norms and stuff. Like, is that a dog culture right there? Puppy culture? Because I'm what I'm wondering when I ask all of this is like, is it right to say that spiders have their own culture, which involves like eating their parents or kids, whatever kind of spider it may be? I don't know. But then it makes me feel worse. Like if they have a culture, and it involves like, you know, am I disrespecting spider culture by saying, "Hey, don't climb on top of me and like bite me and shit"? Because maybe that's like affectionate there. I don't think it is, but I mean, food for thought, right? People are studying this stuff. That must be such a cool job. I mean, it must be a difficult job because I think like, you know, to get funded for that, you need to be producing research that's useful to somebody. And if you're studying like animal behavior, I feel like that's a very niche kind of thing. Like somebody should be doing it. I'm glad people are doing it. It's just like, how do you make a living out of that? You must be producing something that is of value to like shareholders and stuff. Like that shouldn't be the way that it has to be, but I think it is the way that it has to be. Just like with the way that the world works, you like somebody needs to be funding it. That doesn't produce money on its own. I don't think so, at least. But like just in pursuit of knowledge, I think that's super worth it. I think like we need people that are doing that kind of work because like a lot of what the human experience is like pursuing knowledge and stuff. And you know, if nobody is researching animal behavior, this is a bad example because people are, but if no one's researching stuff because it doesn't point to you know, any money, because it doesn't like produce value for shareholders or whatever, then we're missing out on a whole lot of like you know, valuable, you know, in a broader sense than physical like monetary value, which I guess monetary value is not a super like physical value either. But you know, in a deeper sense than monetarily, we're missing out on some kind of value that the knowledge brings us. If people are not researching it because it doesn't bring monetary value, right? And there's going to be a ton of things like that that are underexplored because of because it's not appealing to whoever is like, you know, holding the funds that would be funding this research, but they're not doing it because they're not gaining value out of it. It's a shame. It's a shame how much like research and like institutions of academia are kind of held back by the funding aspect. But I mean, it takes a whole big change to the way the society kind of moves and the market works to kind of fix that problem. But it is good that at least there are some people that are getting to kind of live that dream and do that research that, you know, some people somewhere are able to achieve that. There's just going to be some fields of research that are super underexplored because of that, and it is a shame. But at least it's not everybody, I guess, is the best way to look at it. Is you know, there is a problem with that stuff kind of being underexplored. Again, animal behavior is not really part of that, because I feel like that is one thing that people are researching like quite a lot. You go to zoos and stuff, like people seem pretty clued in on that kind of thing. Although I don't know how much of that is like focused, attentive research and how much of it is like, yeah, we know this because we interact with these animals all the time. We have picked up on this. Obviously animal researchers are a thing, but I don't know how like valuable that kind of research is considered, more broadly speaking. But I tend not to look at things from the business angle because it's just kind of, you know, boring, depressing stuff. I'm more interested in the whimsy of it. Okay, so we got posts, steps, and window frames. Which window frames are dirty? Because those ones look fantastic. If I do say so myself, I say so. Okay, we got these stairs. That's that. Steps? I've done the steps. Where's the posts and the window frames? Because they all look great. They must be around the back. Oh yes, I see. This window frame, although it looks clean, was not actually... It's not actually clean. And posts. I don't know which posts are unclean. They all look pretty clean to me. Let's just... I don't know. Oh, there's a post. There we go. We completed it. Look at how this house looks now compared to how it started off at. It's a very rewarding job. Like it is very fun. There you go. That was PowerWash Simulator. It only took half an hour. I really expected it to take longer. See you later.